Tucked deep within the forests and mountains of the Philippines are tribes that don't look like anyone else in Asia. They have curly hair, dark skin, and ancient oral traditions passed down for thousands of years. They're not immigrants. They didn't arrive in the last few centuries. They've been here since the beginning. And now, scientists believe their DNA might hold the key to understanding not just the Philippines, but the very origins of modern humans in Asia. This is the story of the Aeta, Ati, and Mamanwa, and why they might be the living ancestors of all Southeast Asians. Before the Austronesians, before the Malays, before the Spanish ever knew these islands existed, there were the Negritos. That's the term often used in anthropology, meaning little black people. But these communities are not one group. They include Aeta, Ati, Agta, Mamanwa, and others, scattered across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. They are believed to be the oldest inhabitants of the Philippines, arriving over 40,000 years ago. That's not just before the Philippines existed, it's before language was even written down anywhere in Asia. And they didn't just live in the Philippines, their relatives once stretched across mainland Asia, India, the Andaman Islands, and parts of Australia. But in most of those places they vanished. In the Philippines, they survived. In the 2010s, geneticists from Harvard, the Max Planck Institute, and UP Diliman began sequencing the DNA of various tribal groups in Southeast Asia. What they found was mind-blowing. The Aeta and Mamanwa people had some of the highest levels of Denisovan DNA ever recorded on Earth, even higher than Aboriginal Australians or Melanesians. Denisovans are an extinct species of human related to Neanderthals. They lived in caves in Siberia and Southeast Asia over 50,000 years ago. No one expected to find so much of their genetic legacy alive in the Philippines. This means the ancestors of the Aeta and Mamanwa interbred with these ancient humans, preserving a prehistoric bloodline that has disappeared almost everywhere else. Their bodies carry secrets of extinct people that we only know from tiny fragments of bone. But the differences go beyond DNA. The Aeta, Ati, and Mamanwa have adaptations that help them survive for tens of thousands of years in dense jungles and rugged terrain. They have exceptional night vision. Curly, tightly coiled hair for cooling in humid climates. Strong barefoot balance and grip, ideal for climbing and moving silently. And deeply rooted oral traditions passed through generations. They didn't rely on cities or kingdoms, they relied on memory, storytelling, and deep knowledge of the land. Here's the tragedy. Many of these tribes speak languages that are either endangered or have no written form. The Aeta languages, for example, differ from neighboring Tagalog or Kapampangan dialects. They include words, sounds, and structures that don't exist anywhere else in Asia. Some linguists believe these could be the last echoes of Pre-Austronesian speech, fragments of a world that existed before modern languages were born. But with every passing year, fewer children are learning these tongues, and with them, the worldview of a 40,000-year-old culture fades. If you ask the Aeta or Ati where they came from, they won't say Borneo or Taiwan. They'll say, "We were already here." Their myths speak of spirits in the mountains, ancient floods, fire from the sky, and how their ancestors walked across lands that are now underwater. It sounds like legend, until you compare it with geological records of rising sea levels after the Ice Age, or volcanic eruptions that changed the region forever. These oral stories may be encoded memories of real events, passed down for thousands of years without writing. And yet, colonial records often dismissed these tribes as primitive, savage, or irrelevant. The truth? They were survivors of a forgotten world. Genetically and culturally, the Aeta and Mamanwa connect to other ancient groups across the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The Onge and Jarawa of the Andaman Islands in India, the Orang Asli of Malaysia, the Papuans of New Guinea, and even the Aboriginal Australians, all share genetic markers with Negrito peoples of the Philippines. This has led some scientists to propose that the Philippines wasn't just a stop in early human migration. It may have been a refuge, a safe zone where ancient humans thrived long after they disappeared elsewhere. Today, these tribes are among the most marginalized groups in the Philippines. They are pushed out of forests, denied education, and subjected to stereotypes. Their lands are often taken for mining, development, or tourism. Many are forced to beg, work as laborers, or hide their identity to survive. But what's being lost isn't just a culture, it's a genetic and historical treasure. The people who carry clues to the ancient human story are being erased in real time. But not all hope is lost. There are efforts by NGOs, local universities, and even tribal leaders themselves to record dying languages. Protecting their ancestral land is crucial for the Aeta, ATI, and Mamanwa tribes. They teach their children traditional crafts, songs, and survival skills, ensuring that their rich heritage is passed down through generations. And they partner with researchers to uncover and celebrate their origins, bridging the past with the present. There's a growing movement to recognize Negrito tribes not as relics but as living roots of the Filipino identity. Because the truth is, if you're Filipino today, you carry some part of their legacy, whether in blood, land, or culture. So why does this matter? Because in a world obsessed with the newest, fastest, and richest, we forget to look backward. We forget the people who carried the flame through darkness before cities, before kings, before nations. The Aeta, ATI, and Mamanwa are not relics of the past. They are the living link to the beginning of Asia's story. And as we rush into the future, they remind us of where we came from, and how much we still don't know. This is Wander Signal. Subscribe for more powerful stories hidden in plain sight, stories of identity, pride, and the ancient truths beneath.